smoke is quieting down. Seems like we've got to a lot of the smoke. Dub, you got smoke?
No, hold on. Stop making jokes about niggas and they married. Nah, stop.
He said you put my mom on the couch.
Same thing, nigga. I come up here.
Yo, y'all, what's going on, man? I ain't gonna lie. This episode, Are You Triggered? It had me worried. It had me thinking, like, are they gonna break up? Is the pod gonna break up? I don't know. Like, it was so many layers. It was ego, shade, truth, performance. Like, everything was just bubbling over, you know? And what started out as a light jab turned into an all-out clash. And it's all clear now, though. Emanny knew exactly what he was doing. Like he went crazy. Emanny threw a shot that hit a nerve. He said that the married guys on the pod, right, and the ones in relationships act one way on camera and a whole different way behind the scenes. Now, according to Emanny, these dudes pander to their partners for content. That's crazy. But when the lights are off, they're talking reckless, moving different, and, you know, definitely not as soft and sweet as they may seem on the mic. Now, this is where things got spicy, right? You know, Flip immediately took offense, as did Ish. And although they tried to mask it with the laughter, the room got really, like, seriously tense. Like, the vibe was just different. You know when people laugh, you know what I mean? They was just trying to do their job. They was laughing through the jokes and all of that, but you could see right through
Look
it.
at the files. Give a fuck about
we crack a lot of jokes, especially me. But when you,
what you talking about?
no, let me talk to you, E. No, listen, watch your fucking mouth when I talk about my wife, nigga.
Fuck
who?
Fuck all that bullshit.
What, my wife, nigga?
I don't want to hear all that sincere bullshit.
Because that nigga said something about mama love you with this nigga.
Yo, y'all be sensitive about the shit that's sensitive.
Cause niggas love their wives.
I don't. Cool, love your wife.
Don't say you been in my crib, nigga.
No, your wife is amazing. But when y'all kick that sincere shit, I don't want to hear it.
But can I say something?
Because I know you.
Look at me, E. Look at all the shit I do. Listen, look at me.
The man's is jaded.
E, look at me.
Let him
Wait,
sense his
hold on, E.
jadedness.
Look at all the shit I do. She handles a lot of things that I can't handle on my own, and she does that. She takes a back seat and allow me to live my life without any judgment. Mind you, I do see her, nigga. I see her every night. Watch your fucking mouth.
See my point? Yeah. See my point?
Yeah.
But I can't
I ain't gonna lie.
See my point?
You know why he mad? You know why he mad?
Y'all niggas want to be.
Stop it. Everybody stop.
You take your wife on a date.
I would, nigga, and I did.
Yeah, but
and I did, nigga.
Again.
And I did.
Like,
and I did.
Just saying, y'all be.
When the last time you went on a date, nigga, with somebody you cared about, nigga? Not these quick dates at stake, nigga. When the last time you went on a date with somebody you love, nigga? With somebody you care about, nigga? You got two spots.
I'm just saying.
You are a bachelor at 50.
When he's kicking his pandering shit. What? Not pandering.
Get that nigga in.
When it sounds very pandery.
No, I just like my wife.
He like his wife though.
Is that a strange thing? Just listen. Don't like that.
Yeah, the word marriage is a smokescreen to the audience. Like it makes y'all present. I'm with you. It makes y'all present as if y'all niggas is ill.
What? And it makes y'all present like y'all more sensitive than what y'all.
And then they get in the comments saying, "Oh, well, these guys are married. They're the only ones doing it right." Well, that doesn't account for the niggas that are married and doing it wrong.
That's true. It just ain't us.
Like you can't just say niggas is married, so they just got the game down pat.
We really don't do that.
I'm just telling you.
I just think your jokes come from a different place. That's all.
Exactly.
No, I think.
Thank you for
from pain. I told you that before.
See, this is the thing with Ice. This is the thing with Ice.
Don't say nothing. No thing about Ice, nigga. He in love, nigga.
Ice is loving on standing on this whole missing piece thing, and I love it.
I said
it's
nothing
great.
about my lady, bro. I said your jokes come from a different place.
Listen what I'm telling you.
Don't speak. That got nothing to do with my relationship. Your jokes come from a different place.
Where does jokes come from?
I said this before. Emanny's jokes come from the same jokes he make with all y'all on y'all relationships. Comes from a place of projection.
No, that's a weird assumption.
It's my assumption.
Why do you think?
That's like my assumption now is that niggas get to pander because it looks better to look that way instead of really say how they talk behind the scenes when it comes to certain shit in relationships, and niggas ain't that sensitive about certain shit. That's not projection.
How about?
Well, you can't rat on what niggas say behind the scenes.
No, not just that.
How about niggas?
You know, deep down, they was really offended. You know, that energy, you can't fake the energy. You know, it wasn't just jokes anymore. This joint really got personal. And Emanny kept pressing. You know, he pointed out that when he gets into his sensitive bag, they clown him. But when they all get emotional and reflective, suddenly they're good men. Relationship goals. You know, they deep thinkers now. You know, and that's a double standard. Emanny wasn't feeling that. He wasn't letting it slide neither. You know, like his message was simple. If I got to take the jokes, y'all got to take them too. You know, and that response, you know, it got everybody a little defensive. Now, Marc, Flip, and Ice were the most rattled to me. You know, Ice especially because I feel like he wasn't feeling, you know, Emanny's critique. He said that Emanny's take was based off projection. But he didn't really break it down though. You know, and Emanny came back hard saying he knows how they talk off camera and how they move. So this wasn't projection. It was truly observation, straight facts, you know, from someone who's been around him for a long time. Like he's been around since the Rory and Maul days. Like he been touring with them and doing all of that since before we even seen him on here. So Marc decided to bring it back, you know, to the love aspect. You know, he stood firm in his marriage saying he's not just in love with his wife. He likes her too. Like she's his best friend. You know, that, you know, was his way of, you know, to me of letting everybody know that, you know, this ain't just performance. And Ice co-signed Marc, but let's be real. I think this whole topic, you know, may have been, you know, something really sensitive for Ice. You know, this may have hit a nerve, you know, and y'all probably like, wow, you know, Dub, why you talking like that, you know? And it's because Ice has been catching a lot of heat in these recent episodes, you know, for being too close with his girl, you know, and it's not nothing that, you know, I don't think it's a problem, you know, and when you with your lady in the beginning, of course, you were around her all the time. And even now I'm around my wife all the time. Like, it just be like that, you know? But, you know, Ice, he been getting a lot of flack. You know, he been bringing her everywhere, hanging with her, you know, like she's part of the cast and flipping the crew. They joked on it, you know, just not too long ago. So this topic right here could be a trigger warning. You know, that's why I feel like he kind of flipped out on Emanny a little bit. And, you know, no pun intended, speaking about Flip, you know, Flip, to me, he be contradicting himself a lot. You know, he'll say the most outrageous stuff, push every boundary, disrespect you with a smile, and then follow it up with my bad, my bad. You know what I'm saying? Like Flip, he know what he doing. Like he knows exactly what he doing. You just didn't expect the reaction to hit as hard, you know what I'm saying, from Emanny, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, he knows that raunchy, chaotic, you know, unfiltered content works. You know what I'm saying? He milks it. You know what I'm saying? He, you know, Flip the Network, he does his thing over there, and that's what he does, that raunchy content. So he understands how to do that in the broadcast. So, you know, when you got, you know, these type of guys and they're all performers and they start accusing each other of performing, you just got gold. You know, you got pure gold. Because let's be honest, Emanny, you know, he was performing too. Flip was performing. Joe, he's always performing, you know, but Mel was in her bag a little bit too. You know, she definitely was. But the energy from, you know, really Ish and Ice, it just wasn't copacetic, man. You know, they was tight. You know, you could see it all in their face, how they was moving. Just they just wasn't, you know, liking the vibe. You know, they didn't understand what was going on. You know, they didn't know if they were in a safe space or under attack. And honestly, it's starting to feel like Marc's presence is shifting the room. Since he came around, he's been calling out behavior, shining light on moments others would let slide. You know, even Parks, he usually just in the cut chilling, you know what I'm saying? But he's been a little bit more outspoken lately. So I feel like something's really brewing. And, you know, just, it's just crazy, you know. And Marc, he dropped a little gem though. He said that he got married at the courthouse. And in his opinion, I mean, like not in his opinion, but in my opinion, you know, when marriages, you know, when people don't spend too much on marriages, sometimes those marriages last long. You know, and that's a saying. People say that, you know, don't spend too much on your marriage. You know, you don't want to do that. And sometimes those ones last the longest. The woman with the smallest ring sometimes be married 30, 40 years. You know, and Mel, of course, she circled back, you know, to that comment that Marc made about, you know, getting married at a courthouse. She was like, oh, you got married in the courthouse, Marc? But she kind of like said it like very shady, you know what I'm saying? And Marc didn't even like it, but you know, maybe Mel need to take some notes, you know, on the relationship stuff that Marc got going on, you know. But now look, do you guys agree with Emanny? Are the guys you know, on the podcast, you know, you think this is good for them to pander to their wives and all of that on camera? Like, are the relationship guys on the podcast, do you think they are pandering, or do you think they're being real? Like, what do you guys think? And is it hypocritical for Flip to say wild stuff, then like walk it back with a fake apology? I know you probably don't think that, but do you think it's good for the broadcast? And why do y'all think Ice got so sensitive? Am I bugging, or you think that Emanny was projecting and Ice was just calling it fair? You know what I'm saying? Or is it fair to talk about how close Ice is with his girl? Is it fair for them to bring that stuff up on the podcast? I mean, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I mean, Ice has brought his girl to Pod Wife, so maybe that is fair game. I don't know. Just let me know. And yeah, man, Marc, he's just bringing this new energy. He's really bringing this new energy to the podcast, and it's creating a lot of tension, a lot of tension, a lot of tension. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments. You know how we do. But yeah, this episode cracked open a whole new layer on the pod to me, and we got to break down something else though. Ish really wasn't performing. He hasn't been performing.
And we'll be back with the files.
He doesn't understand
That's my man,
what's
though.
really going
Gang,
on. Like,
gang.
he doesn't know when people are
Big
joking.
Dub.
He doesn't know when people are serious. And in my next video, we're definitely going to talk about that, because things got really heated between Ish and Joe. And we'll be back with the files.
My guy Dub, too. That's my man, though.
Gang, gang.
That's my man, Big Dub.